Welcome to The Growth Equation. This isn't your typical business podcast. We're keeping it real about the challenges of scaling up, period. I'm Tristan Wright, and I've been there. I've built and scaled my own business. I've sold it. I've learned a ton along the way. Now I'm bringing you the no BS stories of founders who are in the trenches right now, navigating that messy middle. We're talking advertising, marketing, design, creative, branding, the whole 9 yards. Doesn't matter if you're a solopreneur or running a team of 100. Everyone's got a secret sauce. That thing that makes them different, better. We're going to uncover it. So grab a coffee and let's get real. Today we're talking with Maria from Untamed Marketing. Maria, welcome.
Thanks, Tristan, for having me.
My pleasure. I've been looking forward to having this conversation with you. Tell us a bit about your story, because you've now got a business partner that's in the business. You've had a really interesting journey. So maybe let's go back to the start.
The start is actually very interesting because I was not educated in marketing. I have a background in political studies, international studies. I graduated in the US and I moved to Australia with my partner. That was sort of going to be my career path. And then we found ourselves in the entrepreneurial journey. We founded a football training app. My husband used to be a professional football player. He played.
Now, when we say football in Australia, we mean soccer. I'm just confirming that.
Well, football.
Oh, so we're referring to what Australians call soccer.
Exactly what Australians call soccer. That in Europe would be football. So my husband, played professional football for over 15 years in Europe, in Italy, England, Greece.
Yeah.
And he made lots of connections. Later on, he became an agent and he solidified his network. And then we started a football training app with some great ex-EPL players of the likes of Sean Wright-Phillips, Julian Lescott, Jordan Stewart. And we recorded in Lakeside Stadium in Melbourne. We developed the software with Appster, that used to be the largest app developer in Australia. And I found myself, classic story, burnt out by marketing agencies once and again. Every time, these exercises were quite expensive, from $50K down the drain to $100K. And one day I decided to actually get some clarity around my business and the metrics. And I just jumped into the ads manager. Ads manager from Meta Ads looked totally different back in 2017. So I've seen the platform develop since. And I decided to have a crack myself. And what happened was a little exercise that started as a laugh with my husband, saying, do you want to give it a crack? It doesn't matter if you throw down the drain 2K, 5K, at least you had a go. Became better results than what the agencies were running, just because I had control of my metrics. I knew the cost per acquisitions that I needed for the business to be profitable. And from then, it's history. I started on the ball, started growing faster and faster and faster. From the first year, we got 180,000 subscribers. We got investment into the app to rebuild it. Long story short, Appster, that was an app developer, went bankrupted. So through a long liquidation process, we even had to end up in court with them. That ended up in compensation for us. It was quite disastrous because we did lose a lot of our hard-earned subscribers. But regardless of that, I sort of managed and found the sweet formula for growth on the ball. We got investment. The people that invested in On the Ball then took me into other ventures that they had in the digital space, specifically SaaS. And from there, referrals just start coming along. Maria, can you come do it for me? Help me out with my ads. And then the rest is just history. I built a team. At the beginning, that team was one person, which is still with me after 10 years. He's currently my operations manager at Untamed. But it started like very, very lean. And that team has now over 25 people between Melbourne and the Philippines. And as I said, the rest is history.
Is the original business still going around, or are you focusing on this? What's the story with the original business?
The original business actually got acquired by a group in the US that does marketing and activations.
Yeah, wow.
We're still involved as part of the acquisition process, but we're in the process of exiting.
Yeah, okay. So you're now obviously running Untamed marketing, and that's not your background. It's all self-taught. So how long have you been running Untamed for as your main venture, let's say?
As my main venture, it actually on time started because I just needed to register a company so I could get paid by clients.
Yep.
It actually didn't start it as a proper agency. In fact, for the first 3 years, I ran without a website, and all the business that I was getting was just from word of mouth. And that sort of like pushed certain processes within the business for me to like build my website and for me to build my like front facing assets, which I find is the hardest when you're actually running your own business because you sort of get burnt out from building it from everyone else. We are so obsessed with our clients' growth that they are the priority. On time always comes last because we understand that if they are happy, they are growing, we likely don't have to go to the market to acquire new clients. But
Yep.
that has sort of changed in the last maybe 6-7 months since bringing my new partner Chiquita in. She has brought another vertical to what we do traditional with digital marketing and advertising. She's brought all the PR and communications side of the business and all the offline events community, which I feel is so important nowadays because a lot of the businesses have turned now into digital and they have embraced digital transformation to its full potential. Finding space on those offline events and building community, it's super important. And then it brings them back up to digital and the way that they're engaging both online and offline. So I
Yeah.
found that that was a certain gap that needed to be addressed. So now we can say confidently that we master end to end all your processes of acquisition, retention, and engagement for customers and prospective customers.
What was it like bringing in so I think did you acquire or you merge? What was it like bringing in a business partner or someone else that's going to be a leader alongside you?
Well, look, for me, um, my business partner, she just actually exited the room, but I really thrive on relationships, and it's just like part of my personality, and I think that that's one of the key to retention as well, and from a wider lifetime value
Mm.
experience that we offer here at Untamed, we know that relationships are like the key to business continuance. So for me, it just came up natural. Like Chiquita is absolutely amazing, and I think that we have like great communication, and like it's more about both of us owning or area of the business and then bringing them strategically together rather than someone leading on top of the other person. I think that our set of skills are so uniquely different that just make it extremely compatible from a partnership perspective. I have learned a lot of things from her in the time that we've been together. So it's actually come naturally, the fact that we're building and growing together.
Yeah, awesome. So it can look like to our clients that business is easy and we're constantly growing and everything is smooth sailing. So, but behind the scenes, that's often not the case. So I want to hear a few of your stories around from when you set up Untamed to today, what you've learned, what's worked and what hasn't worked.
Look, I think that that's the constant dialectic of a marketing agency. I think that people don't realize, especially when we have an internship program, we have people that we have hired. Agencies are not for everyone. I think that it takes a certain type of person to run an agency that can deal with being agile, number one, quick iteration, and then a lot of pressure that comes with running an agency. And for me, it's not really just so much of running on time as a business, is the capability to deliver for our clients what really matters. And for us to be able to deliver for our clients, usually we have to have very hard conversations with them. And I feel a part of really breaking down the bottlenecks of business growth, whether internal or for each of our clients, is the ability to really identify what's not working in their individual cases and then quickly pivot to something else, because there's always a channel. We just got to find that channel, and we sometimes need to break a lot of bias with our clients of things that they think might have worked, say 24 months ago, that might not be working now because the landscape is completely different.
Yeah.
I do find that the most challenging part of it all. There's also a lot of other stories. We have all types of clients, but we have dealt with the likes of professional athletes, which obviously have their requirements. There's a lot of like concerns in terms of their digital rights, image. So we need to be like very careful about like the way that we curate the experience. But that has been an amazing experience for all the team to be able to work with people of the likes of like Dustin Martin, EPL stars. We have been really lucky to meet some wonderful people along the way, like Archie Thompson as well. He's a close friend of ours and does a lot of work within our agency in terms of like brand activations, campaigns, emceeing. There's like the question would be is like, have you had any quiet period while you're in the agency? And the answer is absolutely not. It's never quiet, but we just thrive with not being quiet, and we thrive off building up momentum, because even the peaks that are not, we always build to those peaks of seasonality and those peaks of momentum. Even when people think that we're quiet, it's usually because we're building something amazing for the next opportunity that is ahead.
Now, you said you're never quiet and you thrive on being busy. You've got a young family as well. How do you make that work?
Well, look, I think it takes a village. We have a lot of support around from like family members. My husband is incredibly supportive, so he even runs his own property development company. He runs a number of businesses and properties that he manages. He's extremely successful, probably a lot more than me, but because of his nature of self-employment, he also spends a lot of time with the kids, especially around sports. So that's amazing that he's been able to do that, and I'm able to like finish that 3 to 5 o'clock in the office, which I find is the specific time where all clients finish their daily routine and they grab the phone to ask me what's going on. So I really like praise and love my husband's support at those times. But I think that one thing that really sticks with me that someone told me once is that the busier you are, the more time you have in your hands and the more that you do. So I find that's totally true. And look, it takes a great team. It takes a lot of organization and a lot of processes. We are constantly improving. No process is perfect. And sometimes you can overcook it with processes, and that's not ideal, but we have found a way to just make it work. And now we just thrive when we're busy, and we know that busy in this sense is good.
Yeah. It's often if you want something done, the saying is, if you want something done, give it to someone that's busy because they'll know how to make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So, because they will have done it before. They're open to learning and making things happen. So tell me about some times, surely there's been a time that you're like, I'm over this. This is not working. It's too hard, or I don't know what to do.
I think as part of my personality, I just don't allow myself to have that mindset. I think mindset is a big part of it. I
Yes.
know that I am on the right journey, and I know that there's like peaks where I'm going to be like performing and super motivated, and peaks when I'm tired. What I have realized is that sometimes I need to give my body time to recover and rest, and specifically work around like boundaries. I come from a place where, because I've been through a lot of the things that my clients are going through, I feel deep empathy for them being stressed about their investment, their ad spend money, etc. And it's always hard for me to see that my clients calling on a weekend, maybe because their e-com store is not performing great on a Saturday.
Mhm.
So I always like have to control myself in terms of like, should I answer, should I not answer? And unfortunately, I do always answer. So I think becoming better at that type of boundaries, or even have a conversation with clients of where up until where I can help and where they do have to like embrace and trust the process, because sometimes it's a process and we get there in the end. But to get there, we need data, we need time, we need investment. And sometimes that can be extremely like frustrating and hard to understand too. And it's extremely frustrating to have hard conversations, as I mentioned previously. So sometimes you need to tell clients that you're going to try 3 channels, and they might feel frustrated about the fact that only one of the 3 is working. And then you sort of have to double down in the one that is working, and it ends up working and you end up getting the return. But usually those exercises take time too. And they take discovery, and they take like a number of creative angles. And then you need to sort of sometimes do it quick enough too, so you gain momentum, but that also can be costly too. And there's a part there where like validating how they're feeling, their emotions. Obviously, financial conversations are hard too, and business conversations can be quite hard. We all have like a sense of we all become emotional about finances too at a
Yeah.
time or another. So
It's
that for me is the hardest of the job. I do understand that it's part of it, and we come from a caring perspective. We come more as a growth partner um, than anything else. But yeah, getting those boundaries so I can get like some energy back to come refresh and then continue scaling, building, and smashing goals.
talking about boundaries and answering calls on the weekend. You said you've got a team across Australia and the Philippines of 25, roughly 25. How many of that team are client facing versus doing the work?
We have about maybe 6 people that are client facing. And then we have business analysts, the graphic designers, video editors, SEO specialists within the SEO team. There's a hierarchy between them of like SEO assistants, head of the pod of SEO as well. And then we have content writers within the SEO team as well. And then now we have 2 dedicated resorts that deal with AI SEO or GEO. So there's a lot of people that are behind the scenes obviously working, and then we have everyone account managing. But I do find that me and my partner Chiquita are still deeply involved on the, especially we have clients that are organizations, and we have clients that are like owner operators or their business or directors where the communication is more streamlined and direct. A lot of times we find that some people in our team do liaison with people that might work for the business or in key areas of the business that we're servicing. And then me and my partner hold the communication with the main decision maker and all the reporting side of it, because part of our promise is really delivering that critical growth number that we put as a key objective of the account. And we do feel personal responsibility in still knowing at all times where your business is at and how we're tracking what's the health metrics of that business and how far we're from that goal. So then we can quickly iterate. So even when now we have this other part of the business that is communications, PR based and stuff, we do still deal with it as a performance business.
Yeah.
And a business where we have to deliver these things and quickly move if we're not delivering.
The one thing I'm intrigued about is the fact that you're still answering calls on the weekend and still very much client facing when you've got a decent sized team. So is that by choice or something that you haven't been able to design out yet?
Look, I think it's by choice too. I think widerly, and this was not conceived as a retention strategy, but our clients' happiness, and this might sound a little bit fluffy, is everything for us. And sometimes that is all in communication and how you're managing the account and in facilitating the business owner or the person in charge within that business to get the clarity and the explainers that they need with their business. And if they feel they are talking to us, they do feel a deep sense of care and that we're delivering the growth with them. And look, it's not untypical within our business that in like periods where we have to perform like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it will be our whole team and us literally at 11, 12 o'clock at night, just pushing through the initiatives. Like next day, 8:45 a.m., emails are going out, news side, fully revamped for the like sales period is going out, and we're all literally looking and tracking the result and making sure that we are growing in fact that business. I can actually give you an example. Last year we delivered a 6-digit day for our client EZZ, which is a pharmaceutical company based out of Sydney. They started burned by an agency, couldn't even crack it to make a couple grand a month, and they went through several providers that didn't give them the clarity. We took over the whole business within our fractional model. Our team took different parts of the service that we thought were going to deliver those key results, and the business completely transformed in 6 months. And then first Black Friday, we had a great Black Friday. It was a 5-digit day, but the second Black Friday, we did build for a massive 6-digit day. And within 24 hours, we exceeded the number by 2 that we put as a target. And there was preparation for that day from August, from a creative perspective, from testing, from running all the hype campaigns, from also prepping the database for the key moment of the year. And that was all of us within the office, literally like live tracking the result for a client. And they feel we have skin in the game too. Like a lot of them actually today feel us. We've been working with a lot of them for 2, 3, 4 years, and they now feel us as part of like an extended part of their team, even when we don't work at their office. Like we're delivering for them. They're happy. We work with their teams as well to train them on how to think from a performance mindset and to support us achieving those key goals.
Out of interest, the price points that you work with your clients, because it seems like you're like from the fractional model, you're basically you're being the internal marketing team. So, what sort of price points are you working at? Is it a $5,000 or $20,000 service that or even $50,000? How are you able to deliver this?
We are actually not a cookie cutter service. By saying cookie cutter is that we work with all types of businesses that we feel we can help, and
Mm,
where we feel the business from a mindset perspective is ready to take the next step.
mm.
And the next step might be outsourcing. There's businesses that are not ready for an agency. So we actually won't take their money. We might give them 4 or 5 pointers to tell them do these things and then be ready for us. Or we might do like a consulting one-off session with them to give them a roadmap to get them agency ready. So then we can deliver results for them. Um, we're not a cookie cutter service, as I said. We quote each business individually. We're an end-to-end service too. A lot of the time, if we put an end-to-end quote with like PR, event management for different key events and activations throughout the year, social media, paid advertising, whether Google ads, Microsoft ads, Meta ads, TikTok, different content marketing strategies for different channels, like the
Mm.
quotes obviously can blow to XYZ. We have dealt with so many businesses now that we sort of know between industries and vertical what would work, what would not. So we tell them what we think is a good starting point, and we're so confident that that good starting point we can deliver them results, and then naturally all our clients increase their spend with us, and they might try one thing. We might how they perform within that specific service. Um, and we might give them a roadmap in terms of like their growth. And naturally, they continue to come back to us, whether for like content shoots, for one off work, like events and activations throughout the year, or for other services like adding a new channel into their marketing spend, whether maybe someone that we started with say Google AdWords or LinkedIn AdWords, a B2B business, and they might want to add like metaphor retargeting once they build their database. Totally fair, but we just take them in a journey. So we are selling more the journey than a retainer. And we're also selling accountability too, and
Mm.
clarity. So if we were to ask a few of our clients what have they gotten out of the experience with us, they probably would have started not even knowing what a pixel was or what cost per acquisition or cost per thousand meant. And we take them on a journey that like by the end of 6 months, they actually know everything that we're delivering and they can keep us accountable. So for us, it's a long education period for our clients too.
So what happens? How do you deal with the client that, let's say they've got hundreds of products and they've got amazing revenue, but they're a mess behind the scenes. So I imagine sometimes you've got to clean up a lot before you can actually deliver anything.
Yes, that's why we take clients through something that sometimes they don't love.
Mm.
Sometimes we get clients that are really urged to start and to deliver results, but we take them through an onboarding period where we essentially tidy up. A lot of times you just mentioned one. I particularly had this high-end luxury furniture business. They had over 7,000 products, so there was a lot, and we had to migrate them from one platform to Shopify. I feel they were using WooCommerce before, but the website was like 15 years old. The architecture was outdated. It was very, very slow, and they wanted a whole different look and feel. And that migration took us months. because of all the products needed to be SEO optimized. So sometimes it's about having those hard conversations with the clients and looking this in for that specific client. She's absolutely lovely. She's still working with us and she's really embraced the journey with us, which was amazing. But it was a long process, and it was a long process that required a lot of work and requires setting the structure from the beginning. And now
Having that
really
framework in that direction and those goals makes it a lot easier because you're on the same page with that same journey.
it's about clarity and communication. I think that that's probably our two top values here. And then working through the bottlenecks with our clients too, having the hard conversations, breaking through the bias as well in what's worked in the past and what our clients think that would work for our business. Sometimes they come to us for a service and we ended up having our first call with them and we actually recommend they go a different way about it because we feel that that might not be the best potential course of action, or they want to spend all this money saying to their social media, but they also don't have enough revenue to support the social media content creation strategy for 12 months if they don't get enough leads. So we might
Yeah.
suggest first get some paid ads where we can really become what's his name, a very predictable funnel of revenue, and then reinvest into the content marketing strategy or going on organic TikTok, for instance, etc.
Yeah, got you. Other business owners that are similar to you, what pieces of advice would you give them so they can enjoy their business more?
I think I was telling this to my lovely business partner that just came back into the room this morning. Sometimes when you have a lot of pressure and the pressure of running a performance-based business is actually quite high, you just gotta keep going. And the more that you complain and the more thoughts that you have about how difficult it is, the harder that it actually makes it for you. So I think just embrace the journey, embrace that you're creating amazing things, and use that as a fuel to continue.
Awesome. And what if you don't know that journey though? Like you're in business, like you know that this is for you kind of thing. So did you know from the start that this was yours, or how did you work out that this is your journey?
Look, I think that there's an inner voice that will tell you that you're on the right track if you're on the right track. And I feel that in the journey, there's a lot of like turns and changes that you might face. And there's a lot of uncertainty. Like we have platforms change. Marketing today is very different to marketing in 2017 when I started OTB. So I think embracing that change and embracing the turns too, and knowing that you're in the right direction rather than embracing like sort of like a straight road.
Yeah, awesome. Maria, it's been great chatting today. If people wanted to get in touch, what's the best way to connect?
If they wanted to get in touch, you can reach out through our website, untameuntmd.com, or send us an email to maria@untmd.com. You guys can also look at our Instagram page, UNTMD Marketing, and we're keen to hear from any business that might need some help generating more leads, opportunities, and engaging in a more meaningful way with their customers.
Awesome. Thanks, Maria. You have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's a wrap. Thanks for tuning into The Growth Equation. If you've enjoyed the show, hit that subscribe button and leave a review. It helps us big time. Catch you next time. And if you want more, head over to evolvetogrow.com.au for show notes and exclusive content.